morning. Oh my goodness, it has been just a crazy time in my life right now. Work's been crazy, I haven't had any time, but today is Sunday, my favorite day of the week, and we are making, drum roll, salted caramel double fudge brownies. Now, I know I joked about this in one of my earlier videos, but I was thinking, you know, I haven't been feeling super hot, and I think this will really hit the spot because I just love ooey gooey fudgy brownies, and who doesn't love salted caramel? So that's what we're doing today. Now, no, Lola, I love you, kitty, but please stay down. She just completely made me lose my train of thought. I cheated a little bit for this recipe because it was scratch made caramel, and I am so terrified to do that, just because I know that caramel is really fickle and it doesn't always come together like you want it to, and it doesn't, I just didn't want to waste a bunch of my stuff making caramel, trying to get it to be decent. So I bought my handy dandy, tried and true Smucker's Simple Delight salted caramel, and it's actually an ice cream topping, but I've used it for salted caramel chocolate chip cheesecake, which was really good, and I put it over ice cream, obviously because it's an ice cream topping, but it's really good. It's a really good caramel, and it's also really nice because it's made in a facility that specifies on there that, like, you know, like it's not, there's like no nuts in it basically, or it's not in a facility that like makes nuts or has nuts in and around it, so it's really good. Here we are. Okay, let's get started before I continue to ramble on. Okay, so stand mixer, or you can have a hand mixer, I guess, but I don't have a hand mixer, I have a stand mixer, which doesn't make sense because usually people have hand mixers and not stand mixers. All right, ramble. Okay, stand mixer fitted with the paddle attachment. Your oven needs to be preheated to 350 degrees, which I've already done. And then the next step after that is you need to melt butter, which is weird, you know, because I just said that everybody needs to have softened butter, not melted butter, but melted butter. So we're just gonna put that in there. This is 12 tablespoons of butter, which is the equivalent of a stick and a half or 3/4 of a cup, depending on how you're measuring. Yeah. Weather is really weird today. There's been a bit of a heat wave. It's like 62 degrees outside, and it would be perfect to like open up the windows and get some fresh air in the house because we've had our heat on and it's stuffy. We have kind of drafty windows, so they're all covered in plastic. I don't know if you can see the plastic on that window, but yeah, so covered in plastic, so I'm stuck in a stuffy house, which is great. Okay, so to the butter, we are adding 1.5 cups of sugar. Ooh, measuring, making sure everything is even. And 1.5. Okay. If I added too much, oh well, they will get eaten. Okay, so we're just going to plug my mixer in. That would help, wouldn't it? Oh my gosh. I've just been so tired. Like, all I've done this weekend, I feel like, is sleep. Like, my fiance and I had a date day yesterday. Fiance, oh my god, he's my husband. Oh my god. We had a date day yesterday, and we like went to the movies and saw Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. Highly recommend, by the way. And I didn't know if I was gonna make it through the movie, so excuse me while I sip my coffee. But, so we're just combining our butter and sugar. I love that smell, melted butter. It smells so good. It's my inner fat girl talking. Speaking of coffee, okay, so look, I run on coffee, chaos, and cuss words. This shirt is my motto life. I love it. But it's just so weird to be wearing short sleeves, even indoors in December. It's December 2nd, and it's 60 degrees outside. So this is what the mixture looks like. It's just butter and sugar, and it smells delicious. Okay, so that's that. And to that, gosh darn it. The one thing about using these rubber spatulas is that I never have anywhere to put them after I'm done using them. Okay, to that we are adding 2 eggs. And here's another little cooking tip that I read or watched. You never want to crack your eggs directly on the bowl. You want to use like a counter or a different bowl, and preferably you're supposed to crack them into a separate bowl before adding them into this bowl. But to refer back to an earlier video, I like to do as few dishes as possible when I'm baking, so we're using the counter, and if there's shell, you know what? We could all use a little bit of extra protein. Just kidding, I'll try and pick it out. Okay, 2 eggs, and then to that we're adding 2 teaspoons of vanilla. My teaspoon measuring cup is dirty, so we're using half a teaspoon. 1/2. 1. 1.5. 2. And our salt. So we need a half a teaspoon of salt. Good thing I got the right measuring cup. And then this part is optional, but since I haven't made this recipe before, which just seems to be a thing that we're doing with these videos, and I know it really enhances the flavor of chocolate and brownies, we're going to add in a teaspoon of brewed coffee. And so we're just going to do half and 1 teaspoon. This is not the coffee I was drinking from. This is a little leftover Halloween cup that I had from my bachelorette party, because it was a Halloween-y party. Since it's, you know, bachelorette shenanigans. Okay, so we're just going to combine that until it's well combined. And that should take about a minute or so. Okay, so that's done. Just gonna scrape our attachment off. It's so windy outside. If you can hear, like, you know, a rattling door, it's because it's my screen door. And it's really windy, but it's warm, so I don't know. Weird December weather, I guess. So I'm just giving this, you know, a quick mix through to make sure everything is decently combined, because we're not using the mixer anymore, so we're just gonna put that down, put it away, unplug it. My dad always told me, you know, to unplug everything after you're done using it, like never leave anything plugged in, with the exception of, like, you know, your microwave and stuff. But like, he's a firefighter, so I always, like, excuse me, oh my god, well, I always took that advice to heart, you know, because he's seen some stuff in his day, so I just don't ever want to, like, put myself in a compromising position, you know, especially with us, like, renting this house. Anyways, okay, so to our liquids, we are going to add our dry ingredients. which is 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder. Seems like every time I do one of these videos, there's something that I haven't used, so I have to open it. I should just offer it. Okay, so 1/4 cup measuring cup. Oh gosh. Ooh. Okay, there's 1/4. Stuff is so messy. 1/2, and then 3/4. I have cocoa powder everywhere now. This is unsweetened cocoa powder, so it's really bitter. So do not eat it by itself. It's not Nesquik, okay? I made that mistake growing up. We also need 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Again, evening out our ingredients to make sure everything is even. Done. Alright, I'm just going to fold this all in. And to fold, we're just sweeping around, pulling back through. See? Sweep around, pull back through. Sweep around, pull back through. You know, you just want everything to be as incorporated as possible without over mixing, because that can make things really tough. And these are supposed to be soft and fudgy and gooey, caramely. They're gonna be delicious. It'll be a nice, pleasant surprise when my husband comes home. I'm making fried chicken for dinner, so it'll be a good dessert for after our fried chicken and potatoes and green beans. I don't know. I feel like I get into such a rut when I make dinner. Like, I feel like I make the same thing like 6 different ways. And like, we're not picky eaters, but like vegetables are hard. Like, we don't have a lot of like fresh vegetables in this area, at least not during this time of year. And like, I'm more adventurous with my vegetable intake than Jake is, and like, that's fine, you know, like I like squash and zucchini and you know, carrots, and like, he's not really into that sort of thing, you know, and like, he doesn't really like tomatoes unless it's on like tacos, which is fine, but I don't want to eat tacos every week, you know, so I don't know. It's just, it's hard to find stuff to make. You know, so I'm on Pinterest a lot, which is actually where I found this recipe. This is where I found all of the recipes that I made for this little blog thing that we're doing. But, you know, so I don't know, it's just, it's hard sometimes, you know, like, we're grown adults, but still eat like children sometimes. Okay. So now to this, and this is also optional. You definitely don't have to do it, but I'm doing it because I like chocolate. We're going to add 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. And this recipe called for like 60% like bitter, dark cocoa. We're not doing that. That's really gross. Oh my God, I got flour. Yeah, that's really gross. And I also only ever buy like semi-sweet chocolate chips. So that's what I had on hand, and I'm not gonna buy chocolate that I'm not gonna use, because duh, why would I? So 1/2 cup chocolate chips into the measuring cup. Just gonna dump that in there. And I guess the chocolate chips are supposed to make this really, like, really gooey, which is exciting for me, because I love gooey brownies. And And I've never really had any luck making brownies from scratch, which is why I usually stick to the box of brownie mix, because, you know, it's really hard to mess up box brownie mix. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done it in my, you know, adolescent amateur baking days, but now I'm seasoned at the ripe old age of 25. Okay, so I went ahead and prepped ahead for our baking dish. So this is an 8x8 baking pan that I put butter on the bottom, and then I said 8x16, but I basically just like cut a sheet of parchment paper in half, and it fit this really well. So I just did half of it, and then I like buttered that so that the other half would stick to it. And then I buttered this all over very lightly where the brownies will touch. So we're gonna put about half the mixture in here, making sure to spread evenly. Oh God, who's got enough room? Very seldom do I ever use parchment paper, except for when I'm like making cookies that I don't want to stick to the baking sheet. But I've also not really had, you know, really good quality non-stick baking sheets, but I love to bake. So when I was creating my wedding registry, I registered for like a bunch of different stuff. And good quality non-stick baking sheets were among those things, and my dear friend Mackenzie, who we made that puppy chow for, she got them for me, and it's been the best gift ever. I absolutely love them. I use them just about every day. And yeah, I just love it. Get you some good quality baking sheets, people. Highly recommend it, because you won't need to spray them. Because actually spraying non-stick cookie sheets and baking sheets ruins them. Fun fact. And you know those like nasty brown stains that you get? Yeah, that's from cooking spray on non-stick baking sheets, so don't do it. Okay, so we are opening our caramel. Okay, we're just gonna sort of go for it. I could heat this so it like is a more pourable consistency, but I haven't refrigerated it because I literally just bought it today. So it's a pretty decently pourable consistency. Just going to taper that off. Okay, and we're just gonna pour this over our brownies. Not getting close to the edge because it will burn and stick. No one likes burnt caramel. Alright, I need to get a rubber spatulas are your best friend when you are baking. Little fun fact for you all. They get into every little nook and cranny that you can imagine. They help you to spread things out without, you know, having a lot of extra residual stuff left over. Okay, and you can use, you know, more or less caramel depending on your personal preferences. I love caramel, so the more caramel the better. And I'm sorry if you say caramel, I don't. It's caramel. So salted caramel. I'm from the East Coast, so I don't know. But you know, ooh, a little unincorporated cocoa powder, that's fine. I lived in Colorado for 10 years though, actually, so I have a little bit of a different, I don't know, dialect, would that be right? Because it's not quite Midwestern and it's not quite West Virginian, because that's where I live now, is in West Virginia. I actually grew up here and then my parents got divorced and I moved to Colorado with my mother, and spent a good 10 years there, and that's really where I learned to do a lot of my cooking and baking, was living there. Okay, so we're just topping these brownies with we're topping the caramel layer with the rest of our brownie mixture, and we're just getting over the edges, making sure to cover up as much of the caramel as possible. You know, it's okay if some sticks out, you know, no harm or foul in that. I'm just trying to make sure that everything is going to be even and not burn. Okay, all right. I gotta do it. You're not supposed to eat raw batter, but ooh, girl. They're so rich. It's gonna be delicious. Okay, so this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, you're gonna reduce the temperature to 325 for another 10 to 15 minutes until you can insert a knife into the brownie mixture and it comes out clean. And I will post pictures on my Instagram account and let you know how it all turns out. You know, if you wanna go take a look, it's Freddy Bakes by Sheena, and you can just find it under Freddy Bakes. It's really cool, if I do say so myself. But yeah, so I'm just gonna pop these in and clean up my mess, and I'll let you know our results, okay? Have a great day, guys.